Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to the Vulture Vault here. Today I've got a pretty special video to start off things. I mainly do Yu-Gi-Oh, but I will also do some Pokemon because I grew up with both of them. And today I want to start off with the 151 Booster Bundle. I love this set. This set, both from the special rares and the just art rares, all of it I love, even down to the hollows, quite frankly. Second, it's the set that I grew up with back in the day, next to Yu-Gi-Oh. Alright, so let's no longer wait and let's get into it. Alright, as I said, this set, I love this set. I'm not the biggest fan of the Charizard special illustration rarity. It is my favorite Pokemon, don't get me wrong. I mean, yeah, as you can tell, I've got a lot of Charizards in the back there. But this special illustration rarity, I just didn't quite like it. For me, it didn't quite land. But, you know, the other two starters, I love the Blastoise. The Blastoise looks absolutely amazing to me. Venusaur wasn't my favorite starter growing up, but it wasn't one that I disliked either, to be honest with you. I personally, I like them all. I really do. I like them all. Okay. So I will say I'm not going to do any pack trick because I always mess it up. I don't do good with the pack tricks at all. I'm just not even going to do them. Alright. Starting off with a Rhyhorn. Tangela, I've never figured it out. Coughing, not too bad art actually. Psyduck, also really like that art. Hitmonlee, not one of my favorite Pokemons ever. Wartortle, ooh, hopefully that's a sign. A Hypno, Clefairy, Voltorb, alright. Ooh, okay. I like the Venusaur. I actually really like that Venusaur, honestly. As I said, I know it's not necessarily the SIR, but honestly, I love just the hollows in this set, and quite frankly, newer Pokemon sets. They really have done a lot for this TCG over the years, to be quite honest with you. Same with Yu-Gi-Oh. Like one of the things I love from Yu-Gi-Oh is the Ghost rarity. That's why for me personally, I love I think that's like ultra rare for Pokemon cards because I love the gold. I love the gold. It to me just looks absolutely awesome. Alright, yet again, not going to do the pack trick because I always mess it up. Classic Caterpie, always love seeing that in the games. Eevee, not too bad. I actually really like Eevees. Grimer, don't really care for Grimer. Weedle, you know, just the worst version of Caterpie. Tauros. Ooh, Kadabra. Okay. Ivysaur. We have a Staryu reverse. A Mankey reversed. Ooh. Okay. So that's the double rare. Okay, so that's the full art rare, I think. I actually really like that. Golem isn't one of my favorite Pokemon either, but I'm not too mad about that. I actually quite like that. It actually looks really nice. That actually looks really nice. Alright, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I'm sorry about the way I open these packs. This is the only way that I really know how. Newer Pokemon packs are kind of a pain to open in my opinion. That's one thing I wish they would take from Konami on Yu-Gi-Oh! And everything, because those packs are so easy to open. And I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just user error. Don't listen to me about that. Alright. No pack trick going in raw. Alright, still need a Charmander to finish off the starting 3. Lickitung, Venonat, Pidgey. Everybody loves Pidgey, in my opinion. Clefable. I've heard people say it's Clefable. I say Clefable. I'm sorry. All right, Tentacruel. I actually like that art. It looks nice. Ew, another Hitmonlee. Is that different art though? It looks like different art. Okay, reverse Parasect into a reverse Gloom into a hollow Starmie. Not too bad, not too bad. And the energy, as always, it's not too bad. Let's keep going. As I said towards the beginning, I would not mind the Charizard because, I mean, eventually I do plan to get all the Charizards anyway. As you can tell from, you know, the Japanese Shining V, the Charizard V-Star, and then there's a Burning Shadows one next to the Lugia. But I wish to eventually own every Charizard. There are definitely some that will, I think, cause some problems to get because, I mean, you know, a lot of people will try to fake the older Charizards, you know, base set and all that stuff. And you can never really be too sure of those ones. But I do wish to eventually get every Charizard, at least every Charizard that I can find that is, you know, real, not faked and everything like that. And granted, I will be able to do that if I put in enough research, put in enough time to do so, which I do plan to. I mean, it's one of my favorite Pokemon. It is my favorite Pokemon, quite frankly. I do also wish to do a side set of Lugia with that, because that is my, you know, that's my top two. Lugia and Charizard, my top two. But honestly, everything, I'm totally down to pull anything here. I mean, let's be real. Pulling a really nice looking card, whether it be, you know, a quarter century rare from Yu-Gi-Oh, or, you know, a special illustration rare from Pokemon, it always is just awesome to pull something like that. Rattata, Kabuto. I wonder what the Kabutops looks like in the set. Another Gloom. Ooh, Doug Trio. Alright, Butterfree. Into a Sandslash. Hollow Gengar. Ooh. I forget what the name of this hollow is. It's like Cosmos Hollow. I totally forget what it is, but honestly, I really love this. And I love that they did it for the energies, because, you know, nobody likes just a very boring looking energy, in my opinion. But I love that they did this hollow pattern for the energies, in my opinion. And this is, again, this is coming from somebody who doesn't play the TCG itself, but I love just, you know, opening these cards and everything. It's such a throwback to whenever I first started, which I think wasn't back in '99. Obviously, it was one of the, honestly, it was around the time whenever Yu-Gi-Oh came out, around like 2002, 2003, around that era. And I wasn't opening base set Pokemon, obviously, because we were past that. But it was like Fire Red era is around the time that I started opening packs and everything. And quite frankly, that's why I love 151. It brings back that, you know, that old era of Pokemon for me, and I love it. I love the old era of Pokemon, honestly. I love that Onyx. Ooh. That Dragonair looks nice. I actually like the look of that Dragonair. Alright, Seadra, not my favorite water type. A Pidgeot. Rapidash. Ending it off with a Jolteon Hollow and another basic energy. Alright, alright. Well, that was not too shabby in my opinion. That was not too shabby at all, actually. I will totally take the... I don't know what rare it is. I think this is an ultra rare. I don't know for sure though. Either that or this is the ultra rare. And quite frankly, I will totally take this full art for Golem EX. Love that, love that. Alright everyone, thank you very much for joining me this time around. Next week I am going to open up one of the newer Yu-Gi-Oh sets that I've been looking forward to. It's going to be the Monster Mayhem set, and I'm going to be looking after that Chibi Blue-Eyes White Dragon. Go ahead, follow, subscribe if you wish to. Alright, see y'all next time.